Awesome. Well, welcome everyone tonight. Thanks for jumping on, for those of you jumping on the live call, and welcome to those watching the recording as well. I know a lot of you can't make it on at this time, which is absolutely fine. And I'm really excited actually, or Steph and I both are, because this is what we love, is the manifestation process and side of it all. Like, it's something that really excites both of us. You know, we've lived and breathed it for years, and we constantly practicing it, but learning more constantly too. And we just want to sort of share, things that we know, things that we've learned, things that we've used, and to help you guys, do the same thing as well. So this course goes over 2 weeks. There's lots of things to implement. Like all of the work, it is that, ongoing work, and it is daily work to do. And it's funny with this work too. I don't know if anybody else, you probably realise it as well. It's not something you can just do and then you go, oh, tomorrow it's changed. Like, it's obvious that all of a sudden I can do this. It's a gradual process. All of a sudden you look back and you go, oh my gosh, I didn't realise I'd done that. Oh, I didn't realise I'd manifested that. I didn't realise I'd broken through those things too. So it's sort of work that you do and look back on to realise it, if that makes sense. And so you just don't wake up and go, oh, it's, I can manifest now. Oh, look, this happened. So it's this ongoing work and ongoing process, but it's definitely stuff you can look back on. So I'm just going to bring a couple of my notes up here so I can run through it all with you. But with with the manifestation work, as I said, it is probably the most exciting part that Steph and I love the most. But a few things, I know a lot of people do find it hard to get in the right mindset to manifest, or don't know where to start to do it. And they find it hard really to manifest things that they want into their life. And some people, I know have, they follow the law of attraction, but maybe they just can't quite manifest things or, get that process going. And honestly, it can be really tricky at first, because you sort of have this, so is it really real? Can I really do it? It is scientifically proven, but a lot of people think it is a little bit too woo-woo and can't happen as well. And honestly, it will be tricky with your mind at the start. You will have that little bit of resistance. But once you do get the hang of it, and once you do start doing it more often, like, manifesting can become second nature to you. And you might not even realise that's what you are doing. And, you might not even be sure what even manifestation means. So hopefully I'll clear a little bit of that up tonight. Or maybe you might just need some clarity on what the purpose of it is too, or what it is you're even trying to manifest. I think a lot of us do this process but don't even know what it actually is that we want to bring in. But, in order to succeed in any of the manifestations you do, you really do need to truly believe in them for them to work. You can't do it not going, I don't really believe this, but I'll give it a go. Like, you've got to really truly believe it does work and believe in them as well. So I think it is really worth knowing, the ins and outs of exactly what manifestation is and how to properly manifest what you want as well. So before I sort of run through, Steph and my manifestation guide, I just want to sort of talk to you a little bit about what it actually means and how it does work as well. Because I think there are many, many different definitions of the word manifest, but the simplest one would be that manifestation is something that you put, so something that is put into your physical reality through thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Okay? So something you put into the physical reality through a thought, through a feeling, and through a belief. Okay, and when you've got all three, it's even more powerful as well. So what this means is whatever you focus on is what you're bringing into your reality pretty much. You may focus on manifesting through when you do meditation. So I know a lot of us on the call do meditation. I know a lot of us try to do it as well, and it is an ongoing, even for me, it's this ongoing challenge I do, but I do work on it. You may manifest through visualization, which is the way I manifest mainly, is through visualization, or you may just do it via your conscious or your subconscious mind as well. But the process of it all is called manifesting. Okay, so I'll give you a bit of an example too. If you've been thinking about getting a new job and you focus on exactly what you wanted and when you wanted it, and your thoughts and feelings would be surrounded like about this new job that you're trying to create, or it could be a new business partner that you want to bring in, or you've just got to really think about your thoughts and the feelings surrounding it. You could then try and meditate on it, and I think Steph will talk a little bit about this a bit later, but you can sit and meditate on this feeling and this thought, or you could visualize this, and this will just help bring in that manifestation process. Or like I was talking about on the 5 a.m. club yesterday and today, I do these things, but alongside, I do it through repetition, which we'll go into later as well. If you then got your new job or brought in that new business partner and it was everything you wanted, you would obviously have successfully manifested something in. So now that you know like what it means and how you do it, I just want to go through on how manifestation does work as well. And, with the law of attraction, a manifestation is where your thoughts and your energy can create your reality. Now, any one of us can do this. Like any one of us on this call, nobody is more special than the other person. So like, Steph, you can't manifest, but Kate, but you can, or Fiona, you can't, but Andrea, you can. Like we all can do it. Okay. No matter who you are. But if you're constantly being negative and if you're constantly feeling down, then you're going to attract and manifest sort of negative energy. So we're always manifesting, but it's either positive or negative. And I think it's a really hard thing to, for people to, when you hear that the life, say if you're not happy with the life you've got now, or you're not happy with the circumstance you've got now, it's hard to take sometimes, but you actually asked for it. Like you actually created that reality, but you can change it at any time and create a new reality, which is really exciting as well. So the first thing you need to do when manifesting is take a look at your thoughts and feelings. Okay. And like what we've talked about in all the courses, awareness is key. Like you really have to stop and really listen to what you are thinking and what you're doing and what your thoughts and feelings actually are. Like, are you feeling negative, or do your thoughts surround negativity? And if so, you could begin to manifest things you don't want into reality, which is quite often the case. A lot of people are bringing things they just don't want, or their business that might not be where there is because they're thinking negatively about, certain things as well. And this is why it's important to really clear your mind and have a positive mind when you're wanting to manifest. So you really need to clear that mind, because you can't go into it while you're feeling in that negative space. So again, some of the things, that's why meditation is so important, because it is completely clearing your mind. It's why it's really great to try and manifest first thing in the morning and the first thing you do, because when you sleep, you actually, like your mind resets. It's like you have this clean slate. And that's why the first thing you do in the morning is the most important thing. It's setting you up and it's the first thing to putting back into a clear mind. So that's manifesting what you want. That's amazing. And it's going to happen in a quicker process as well. But manifestation doesn't just work with your thoughts. There has to be some form of action on your part too. So, if you're looking for, you're trying to manifest this new job, it could be actually applying for the jobs that would suit what you're looking for and going to the interviews to help you manifest it, so we all know, and I'll give you an example today too. I was speaking to somebody, and because I know all of us on this call, I think do have an Arbonne business as well as other things, but she was saying, she'd been sort of sitting on QV for quite a while, quite a few months, and I sort of said, what is it you want to do, and what's your goal this month? I'm going to do my DM bonus this month. I'm like, that's awesome. So what do you do to do it? She said, well, I'm sitting there and I'm writing down over and over and over every day that I'm going to do my DM bonus. I'm like, that's great, but what action are you taking? And she said, oh, no, nothing. I'm just writing. I'm like, you can't just write it. I think it's going to pop into you, like magically come into your stats. Like you have to take action for that to happen. So it's the same sort of thing. You've got to, you can't just be your thoughts. There has to be some form of action on your part surrounding that manifestation process too. Trying to visualize your thoughts and feelings about your job too will also help alongside the action. This will then help you feel more positive and more motivated to make these changes a reality too. So that's just give you an example. What it will do is it will then push you to take some action and to ultimately manifest your goals into your life. So you can write this down as we go if you want to, but how to manifest anything. I'm going to give you some 5 steps to do. And again, I know a lot of you may have heard this before in the past. Hearing it over and over is great, but just, implementing is what's going to make it happen. So, when you read about the law of attraction, it can sometimes feel like, watch The Secret things. Sometimes it can feel like it's going to take months or years to manifest anything you desire. Sometimes it just feels so far away. But experts advise that if you actually and carefully work your way through like 4 distinct, or I'll go through 5 distinct manifestation steps, it's actually possible to get results a lot more quickly. They even say, if you're wondering how to manifest anything, it can actually happen in 24 hours if you follow these 5 steps too, and obviously take the action and do those things. But it can happen a lot more quickly than you think. So don't think that whatever it is you're wanting is so far away. It actually could be just around the corner as well. So if you followed our straightforward sort of manifestation guide, you never know, you may get what you want in 24 hours or even less. You just never know. And, I know I did share something on the 5 a.m. club yesterday morning, and then I shared what happened this morning. And just for those of you who didn't hear it, I'll briefly say it quickly. But yesterday morning I decided I do my journaling and my gratitude, and I go through all of those things. And then when I've got that leftover time, I write over and over and over what I was trying to manifest. So I sort of just do one thing at a time. And my thing I wanted to manifest is we've got a block for sale in Mallacoota, where our holiday house is. I'm like, right, I think it's time to sell that block, so we're going to be offered a certain amount of money for that block. And I wrote over and over and over and over and over. And then, sorry, that was the day before. And then yesterday, my friend's parents went up there to go and collect her car. And they're like, oh my God, we love this block. We want to buy this block. Well, great, do a package and build a house at the same time. We can't believe this place. They're really interested in the block. So that just happened literally within 24 hours. Now, I haven't been offered the money yet, so I'm not saying that's happened, but even just that little extra thing was something that, nobody had been interested in ages. All of a sudden, she said, we really want to buy this block. So that's pretty cool. So step 1 of anything, and you can write this down as we go if you know exactly what yours is, or if you're having a few thoughts as I talk, but you need to choose what you want to manifest. Okay, what is the one thing you do want to manifest at the moment that you're working on? So it can be as big as you want, as small as you want, it doesn't matter. Okay, but you need to, step 1 is choosing what you want to manifest. And when you decide on something specific to manifest, it's really crucial that you know exactly why you want this specific thing in your life. Okay. And when you're trying to manifest something in just say 24 hours, you also have to pick something you can believe you can manifest in a day too. So, which, pretty much can be many, many, many things. But if you're doing that in 24 hours, but you might be giving yourself a week, a year, a day, a month, whatever it is. But just believe you can do it, know what it is, and know why you want this thing. Okay. So for example, there's little points saying, I'm actually, you could say I want to start a new business in 24 hours unless you actually believe you can attain this goal in the next day. Okay, so you might be out there looking for a business. You could be going online and do it in 24 hours. But you've just got to know that can be done in that 24-hour period. However, you may believe that you can manifest the next step in your journey to a new business in a day, which in case might be, you might want to set that goal as well. So, you might not go, I'm going to start a new business and earn $40,000 in one day. That's not going to happen in 24 hours, but you could know, I can manifest the next step in my journey, or attract a new business partner to my business, or, whatever that may be. So yeah, you could set that goal. So when picking a thing to manifest to, you need to ask yourself these questions. So do I really want this? In my heart of hearts, do I really want this? What I'm trying to manifest, like in my heart, do I really, really want it? Ask yourself, how will I benefit from having this? What I'm trying to manifest, how this is going to benefit me or other people. When I'm thinking about having this thing I'm trying to manifest, does it feel right? How will it be good for me, and how will it be good for other people if I manifest this as well? Okay, so remember, you've got this recording if you want to go back through this. But do I really want it? How will I benefit from it? When I think about having it, does it feel right? And how will it be good for me and other people as well? So whatever we want should be for the greater good always too, when you're manifesting something, and something you want in itself, like most likely something that's a significant step on the journey towards, this bigger manifestation goal that you may be trying to achieve. So just to sum that up, you need to decide what you want, really connect with the intention to have it, and truly believe that you'll receive what you ask for. Okay, so that's the first thing there. The next steps, the step 2, You need to get rid of things that stand in your way for what you're trying to manifest. Okay. I was actually having a great conversation with somebody about this today, about just getting rid of the noise around her, getting rid of all the distractions around her, because there's a lot going on, so she could just focus on the one thing. So I want you to think about it at the moment. Have you got a lot of noise going on around you? Is there a lot of chat feeds going on that you're a part of? Is there, lots of distractions going on? Because maybe you might need to just get rid of those to really focus on. So, unfortunately, almost always there'll be something standing in your way to success, okay, whether it's a person or a thing or a group of people, whatever that is. And this shouldn't scare you at all. That's not what I'm saying. This is just part of the whole manifestation process. So just keep an eye out for these sort of common things that may be blocks. So it could be negative beliefs and your mindset. So it might be you. If you're in a bad place emotionally, you need to first get yourself into the right mindset before you can successfully manifest anything. So if you're not in the right headspace, you need to try and work on that and get yourself in the right headspace first. You can't be focusing on negativity and expect to attract good things in your life. It can't, again, scientifically, energetically, it actually just can't happen. So take some time to practice self-care, try meditation, try different stress relief techniques, go on walks, do whatever it is, have a sauna, do whatever it is for you to really relax and get you in a good mindset. You also need to look at toxic people. When you're working on manifesting a dream, you need to make sure no one is holding you back. So people who don't believe in you, always criticize you, complain about everything, they're actually blocks that will keep you from doing your best. So you may need to, while you're trying to manifest these things, remove yourself from certain situations and certain people. And also timing, sometimes you just need to be patient as well. I know it's hard, but everything you want to happen, it will happen at the right time for the right reasons as well. So if something isn't happening for you right now, it doesn't mean it never will. Okay, you just got to keep believing and keep working on your goal. So it doesn't mean just give up. Just keep believing and keep working on your goal. Sit back and think about how your manifestation process is sort of going at the moment. So I want you to think about a few things. Like, do you feel like you're on your right path at the moment, or what is it is holding you back right now? If you're not sure what that's getting in your way, I would suggest even to going back to, and I know there's a couple of people still yet to do it, but going back to the Unblock and Expand course to finding your blocks again, like sort of working, what is it that's stopping you? Why have you got these negative beliefs? Why are these people you keep attracting into your life? Like, what's going on? Number 3 is you need to, obviously, we talked about before, visualize what you want to manifest. You probably already know the basics of visualization too, because I know I've talked about it a lot before, because it's my favorite thing to do, and have at least tried to practice these techniques a couple of times while you've been doing sort of your manifestation, quest or journey. But I always say start by going somewhere that's really quiet, really private, and just spend a minute on just visualizing what you want. It doesn't have to be a long process. My favorite time to visualize, well, there's 2 actually. Mine is just as I'm going to bed. I love to lay in bed and visualize, and I can never remember going to sleep, so it always puts me straight to sleep. But especially when you're into that stage of just going on sleep, that's it's actually stronger than hypnosis, that stage as well. So that's why I love doing it when I'm going to sleep. I think it's more powerful. And also when I'm walking on my own, I love to visualize as well and pretend I'm living this life, whatever it is I'm trying to create. So they're my ways of doing it. But just pour all your energy and concentration, even just in that 1 minute, into seeing it with your mind's eye, and let all the good feelings about the object or the outcome, whatever it is, all of them like well up inside you. And this step of visualization too works best if you do like that multi-sensory visualization. So it's about seeing it and hearing it and smelling it and touching it, whatever's relevant, tasting it, whatever's relevant there, to look at the outcome you're trying to create. That is the most powerful when you can sort of do multi-sensory as well. You see everything about it. Just make it as real as you possibly can, so it's almost like it's already yours. Okay, and add as many details as you can too, and don't try to imagine exactly how the thing or outcome becomes yours. Instead, focus solely on the end result of receiving what you desire, not how, just the end result. So again, if I refer to even business, a lot of people go, I'm visualizing a business partner and I can't see their face, but I know everything else about them. But you might be in your mind going, but I don't know where I'm going to meet them. I don't know anyone. I've spoken to everyone. you don't need to focus on that process. You just need to focus on the end result, the person. Okay, the universe will work that out for you. You don't need to work that part of it out. So don't think about, don't try and see how it's coming through a particular person or a particular means. Just focus should be, focusing on just that end result as well. So number 4, so 2 more steps. You need to take the action, as I said. You need to take action to manifest what you really want. You can spend the rest of your day pretty much living as you normally would. There isn't any particular action you need to take in order to make manifestation possible. Your intentions of what will determine your success. But once you've finished steps 1 and 2 as described, what I've said today, you're just waiting for what you want to appear. However, if you feel the urge to do something specific, whether immediately or it's an intuition-based, feeling, just listen to your gut feeling and take that action, because I think you already know inside, well, I know you already know inside what you need to do, but we just don't trust ourselves enough to do it. So it's listening to your gut, it's listening to your intuition, because you know what it is, the action you need to take to create the things that you want to do. It's just, facing the fear and doing it anyway as well. But, make sure it all aligns with who you are and what you want to do. But if you find, you don't get the outcome you want in a 24-hour period, say if you're looking to manifest in 24 hours, look back at the first 2 steps I talked about and go back through them. Sometimes just writing down what you want and can just give the universe that extra nudge it needs to fuel your manifestation and put it out there. Like the power of writing is huge as well. So maybe you just need to go through that process again. But, there are some reasons why you might not be manifesting quickly too. So just consider things like, are you doubting the process? Do you either not believe you'll get what you ask for because you don't think you deserve it? Or perhaps you doubt whether it's possible to manifest using like the law of attraction. Just any kind of negative feelings like self-worth feelings, all those sort of things, any anxiety, any worry, any anger, any doubt, or any negative beliefs will inhabit the result of your manifestation process. Okay. So the last, thing I want to talk about here in the steps of manifesting is to recognize and appreciate. And this is what I was sort of saying before. Sometimes you got to look back and go, oh, wow, I didn't even realize I manifested those things. So although it's a last step, it might not seem that significant when I first say it. It actually can do a lot to shape your manifestation potential, especially in the future. So basically the key thought here that is the key thought is that you need to fully appreciate what you have once you achieve your goal. Okay, so once you get it, you really need to really appreciate as well. It can be easy to forget that you actually asked for what you received. So you need to take proactive steps to prevent this as well. So I've seen this over and over and over again in business, when people first set out. So one of my VPs in my business, when she first set out, her goal was to be able to purchase a queen size bed for their spare room. That was really her main goal when doing the business. Now, she ended up earning, over $10,000 a month. And then when she got there, it's like, but I really want to get to MVP now. But what she wasn't doing is actually go back and recognizing and appreciate she'd created so much that she actually wanted. But it's like we keep wanting more and more and more. So I think it's really, really to keep bringing in more, you've got to really look back and appreciate and thank and realize what you've actually done and what you've manifested to. So go back to what you first thought and felt when you were visualizing your first thing you wanted, your objection or your outcome, and connect. You got to connect those experiences with the new experience of having what you want as well. Have a look at the proof, and also consider the proof that that your thoughts you have are actually things like you can actually bring in those things as well, and that thinking a certain way can create changes in the world around you. Just by thinking differently, you can literally change the world around you as well, which is pretty powerful. It's pretty scary sometimes when you think about that's how powerful your thoughts are, but we can all do it. So I think the more you make this connection and you really emphasize it, the better you'll be at manifesting anything in the future. And as you'll start replacing negative limiting beliefs as well with confident, like positive thoughts and feelings. So, because what you'll do is you'll start recognizing, oh, that was a negative belief, I shouldn't think that, and you'll just turn it to a positive one the more you're aware. So how do you know if you're on the verge too of manifestation? You might have gone through all of these manifestation steps and you feel positive and you feel motivated, you go like, now what do I do? As long as you can hold on to the feeling, like this feeling, and stay positive, focus on your goals and take some form of action, then you've done your part. Okay, the rest is up to the universe. As long as you're doing your part, the universe will deliver, but you've got to keep doing your part. And what this means is you are on the verge of manifestation. Okay, so there's some signs that you should look out for in order to know that manifestation is close. And it may feel like nothing has happened after you've set aside time to really think and, about your manifestations, you've done all the work, but it's really only the beginning as well. So some signs that are likely to appear to, even if you aren't even looking at them, is, and signs to know that your manifestation is close, is when you're trying to manifest something into your life, there are many signs you should look out for. And some will be really small and others might be staring you right in the face as well without you even knowing. So some of the signs that you may have is you may start hearing about what it is you're trying to manifest, or hearing about your desires. So it could be overhearing someone's conversation or listening to the radio and all of a sudden they're talking about that. And that's the very thing you want, okay? And I know that's a funny one at the moment too, because I know when you might say you're manifesting something and maybe you're doing a vision board or something and you type something in your computer, well, next minute there's ads for it all over the place. I know I'm not talking about those things, but it might be things like on the radio that's not controlled by the whole internet world, or overhearing a conversation. They're things that they don't control, like they, meaning I don't know who they are that control all of this stuff. So that's what you can listen to, and you might realise you're on the verge. Feeling excited too. If you start to develop that sense of excitement, like those butterflies in your tummy, despite there not being a reason for it, this could be a sign your manifestation is really, really close. Actually, I'm just going to give you a 2-second story on that too. I'll never forget when Grant and I used to have a motel before kids, and one day I just said to Grant, because I had this feeling for a few days, it's like this nervous energy and I couldn't even describe it. And I said to him, and he's actually not into this, doesn't really get it like I get it. So Grant, I know this seems weird, but I said, I've got this feeling like there's something big is coming, like something really exciting is about to happen. I don't know what it is and I don't know why, but I've got this feeling. And he looked at me, he said, it's so funny you say that, I've got the same feeling, I've had it for days. Like, oh my God, I wonder what it is. So we could both feel whatever energetically something was coming. This lasted for actually a couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden this feeling was gone for both of us. And we don't know what was. Obviously there was an opportunity, there was something that came past, but neither of us saw it or recognise it, and it left. But that's a feeling you may start to feel. So you've got to be aware and looking around of what's going on. You may see repeating numbers, and I know a lot of you, we talk about this in our world too, these repeating numbers, but that can be an important meaning, and they're a good sign that manifestation is close to. So pay attention, like, to the numbers you're saying. You may hear other people talking about your goals. So the people in your life might bring up your goals in conversation, telling you that you'd be good at something, even if they're not aware that that's your goal as well. So listen for those sorts of things as well. So these are just a couple of the signs that, when you're doing this process, just to take note of, because your manifestation is close and it's close to being your reality. So make sure, just keep a note of these things, write them down because you may forget them too, and just really feel really excited, that your manifestation is really close and it is just around the corner. So that's what I wanted to share tonight to start off with. So Steph, if you want to take over and sort of talk about a few things you want to talk about.
Dan, so some of them are a crossover with what you've said. I'm just going to tell a story about myself as well. So completely agree with everything that you went through, and you sort of touched on this at the start about belief that you can manifest. So what you really want to do is build that belief and trust muscle that you can manifest. So every single one of us is capable of manifesting, and you're doing it unconsciously every day. But I want you soon, I'll get you to take inventory of all the things that you've already manifested so that you can build that trust belief muscle even more in yourself. So I've personally been manifesting for years unconsciously, and things had been showing up. This was long before I knew what manifestation was. And it wasn't till, years ago when the law of attraction came out that I recognized it and that it had a name for what I'd been doing. Because Danny was the same. We'd both been doing, so I don't even think we'd been discussing it, Dan, that we were doing it. Things were just showing up. But so when I saw and read the law of attraction, I was instantly excited as I knew I could do it and I could expand on it as I was given more tools to use, as I'd only been manifesting through visualization, but I wasn't even aware that I was doing it. So I'll give you a couple of examples of what happened to build that trust muscle so I could recognize and go, yes, I can do this and I can do it quite easily. And when I saw the movie that came to mind, I went, oh my God, I manifested that. I didn't realize what that was. This is such a stupid, embarrassing story, but I get on here and do silly, embarrass myself all the times. But this is when I was younger. So Dan doesn't know this story. So when I was younger, I had a boyfriend and he just broke up with me out of nowhere. And I was heartbroken. So I was living at home, had no license, and, there was a big gap of where he'd been in my life. Like, I still had my own life outside of him, but there was obviously a gap of where he'd been. And I'd go walking every day. I was a walker and I'd walk every day and I'd do lots of daydreaming, daydreaming about getting back together, which in hindsight was visualization. And this was my daydream and how I'd visualize, and it goes a little bit like this. See my daydream? This is so embarrassing. I'd be walking around daydreaming about how life was with him, and I'd be super cool, and I had a red Jeep Wrangler in my daydream. Meanwhile, I had no license. So my daydream had a red Jeep Wrangler, and he'd come over and you'd see my new car and be super impressed, which was ridiculous because he was the least superficial person ever. And we'd go on a long drive, we'd be laughing and chatting in the new car, and he'd remember why he loved me, and we'd get back together and live happily ever after. So it goes something like that, in my mind. I'd be walking along just picturing this all happening and, think it was super cool. And this was before, obviously, Facebook and text message and that. So when we broke up, there was like no contact. I didn't call him or anything like that. There was no contact. I was just cruising around daydreaming about him. So remembering I didn't have my license or let alone a car, but I was daydreaming about it. And then one night, Danny and I was laughing about this before when I was remembering this story. Danny and I think it was you, Dan. We were at the gym, or Danny and I used to do water aerobics. Don't know why. Can you remember that? So we'd been doing water aerobics. We came out of the gym and we went to the car park. And our dad was there and he had a red Jeep Wrangler with him. So I wasn't lucky enough to actually manifest that Dad had bought a car for me. He had bought home a car for the weekend to test drive. Now, I don't even remember telling Dad that I liked the car, but he bought home a car for me to test drive. I was on my L, so I couldn't actually test drive it. But I ended up purchasing the car, got my license. And then a little bit after that, Pete rang because he couldn't text and asked me to go on a drive with him. And it was a long drive, and it was to Warrnambool because his sister had moved to Warrnambool. And, we're in the car laughing and chatting, et cetera, playing out my daydream. But this is the first manifestation memory that came to mind when I saw the law of attraction. I was like, oh my God, all of that daydreaming around the river had brought that into my life, and I'd actually attracted that. I attracted the car, I attracted us getting back together. And then I knew that I could manifest anything. But I didn't obviously know a lot about manifestation and didn't know, that on my heart of hearts, I had to really think of what I wanted, because we were actually not compatible whatsoever. Like, love him dearly still. We're still friends all of these years later, but we just were not suitable. We're complete opposites. We had nothing in common, but I wanted it from the wrong reasons, just because I wanted to prove that he could love me back. I don't know why I wanted to do it. But anyway, so I ended up getting stuck with him, because careful what you wish for. I had him for another couple of years, and then I had to break up with him. So that was my first thing of like, manifestation, I do that. And then I started thinking of lots of other cases that I'd, been manifesting. So this is another just story. This was a really short period one, 48 hours. So as Danny said, we're all in Arbonne tonight, like on the call. And Danny and I were going to Adelaide. We used to live in Adelaide when we were younger, and we were going there for, I think Danny was doing a DA in Adelaide, and I was thinking of people that I wanted to speak to. We hadn't lived there in like 20, 25 years. And there was a girl that I really wanted to speak to about the business opportunity, but I'd had no contact with her in 20 years. We were friends on Facebook, but, you know, we weren't even liking each other's posts or anything like that. And I thought, I really want to speak to her. In my head, I was thinking, where we'll go for coffee, you know, what should I say in the message? And I was thinking on it and didn't contact her. This is in a 48-hour period. And then jumped on Facebook, and there was a message in my message box from this girl saying, hey, I see you do Arbonne. I'm so interested in the business. I'd love to do the business with you. Can I give you a call? And I wrote back, actually, in Adelaide tomorrow, we'll go for a coffee. End up going for coffee at the coffee shop. So that was just a really short period of time manifesting something, and then just coming, you know, into my life. So there's so many examples that I have in so many different areas of my life. So I'm just going to give you some time now just for you to all have a little think and just look back and just take some inventory, just write down some times that you've manifested things into your life, whether they're big, small, you know, it could be anything at all. So just have a little think and just write down some things, because everything you've got in your life, you've manifested, but just think of some things that you thought, oh, wow, that was a coincidence. And anyone's welcome. If anyone wants to share anything that they've brought into their life, just write in the chat feed and I'll unmute you, but you're welcome to share. So manifesting, as we know, is just actualizing and bringing things you want to fruition in your life. So sometimes, and Danny said a bit of this before as well, we have blocks, whether it be from our past programming, low self-worth, and we find that the things that we're asking for just aren't showing up. And all of the think positive, being vibration, to pretend to be what you want when you're not actually there yet, can be exhausting and, you know, debilitating. And I found this myself. And a couple of years ago, I was, you know, in a bit of a negative place, and I could only stay in negative. I was only just thinking negative thoughts over and over again. And I was just trying not to think at all, because I know how powerful manifestation is. And every time I thought a thought, I'm like, don't think that, think something else. And I was just like, my mind couldn't stay on any one thing because I was just going down the path. But when you find yourself going to that negative head chatter, just stop and take note of what it is, because this is where your block is, and try to go deeper on it and where it came from. Because when we just try to change it straight away, like Danny said, like your negative thought into a positive, but when we just try to flip it straight away without actually going deeper of why it's there, we're not raising our self-worth, and it's just still sitting under the surface. And that's where we'll stay in our comfort zone, and we'll not deal with the things that make us feel insecure or keeping us from taking action. Just like this girl Danny had the conversation with, she was, you know, writing over and over again about getting a DM bonus, but she wasn't taking action because there was obviously something sitting under the surface that she wasn't actually looking at. And I just saw, I think Lynn said you went, ooh, I don't know how to I'll meet you. Yeah, you went NBP?
Well, when I was an area manager, I used to run a lot or power walk, and I would I'd like look at, like, towards the end of my race or run, I'd look at a telephone pole or something, and I go, okay, that's my finish. But I did it a lot when I was an RVP or trying to get RVP. But then as soon as I get to the telephone pole, I go, no, I'm an RVP and I'm going to push through it. And I would do that all the time. And I would visualize the Mercedes every morning. And I would tell my team this every morning. I would go in the bathroom and I'd look myself in the pupils and I'd go, I am an RVP. I'm an RVP. And I'd just feel it. And then as soon as I came out of the bathroom, I would go, okay, what does an RVP do? They pick up the phone and they go into activity. But I would visualize, when I was saying that to myself, the Mercedes in my garage.
Yeah. Visualize an action.
Over every day, I would do that.
Yeah. Love that. Thanks for sharing. So yeah, as you took action, which, when we feel insecure and that we're not taking the action, so that's perfect. And when we're not taking action, it's preventing us from raising our self-worth and blocking us from what we're wanting to manifest. Because when we raise our self-worth, we'll find that we can bring more of everything into our lives. And this is like a simple little tool that you can do if you've got a small block or a negative feeling or memory of why you can't have something. You can also go deeper through meditations, and the meditations that we've got in Unblock and Expand. You can really raise your self-worth in those meditations. But this is just a little tool. And Dan, unmute yourself and jump on, because I haven't done this for a while. If you want to add anything to it as well.
Yeah, I'll do this, and then Fiona's going to share one too.
Oh, awesome. Thanks.
Yeah.
So this is called The Ball. And this is just breaking negative thoughts in our mind and just negative emotion. So everyone just get their hands together and rub them. And this is just charging some energy in your hands. And then get your thumb and start with your left hand. Just pop it in the center and just twist it around, because we're just going to start charging the energy, and then do it onto the next hand. And what we're going to do is create a little ball. So all your fingers together with your thumbs in, little cups in your hand, and have a ball about 2 centimeters apart, up the top and down the bottom between your wrists and your fingers. Can everyone see that properly? What I want you to do, I want you to look into that ball and just feel that it's full of energy. And you can just move it in and out a little bit, just feeling that energy inside the ball. And then you get your negative memory, and you just stare into the center of the ball, feeling the energy. When you can really feel that energy charging there, just stare into it and think of your negative memory, and just bring up the emotion of how you felt around that. So whether it's, shame or sadness or whatever that negative emotion is, and then just hold that in there, that thought, and then you can just expand your hands a little bit, just bringing it out to about 3 centimeters apart, and then just pushing it in again, still keeping it apart, pulling it out, then pushing it in, then pulling it out a little once more, pushing it in, and then just pulling your hands all the way out and releasing that negative charge and just flicking that out. And that can just expands that negative emotion and energy and just breaks that. Is there anything else you wanted to add on that, Dan?
Yeah, so whenever you have a negative thought or you have a worry or anything that's in the negative, not the positive, and you want to get rid of it, you put it in the ball. So always charge first, get that, and as Steph was saying, feel the energy in there, and you've got to stare and just stare in the middle of the ball and think about it constantly for the 3, and then you've got to do it until it pops, and then shake it off, and that can remove that energy. But it's really good too if you've got little kids. They can do this at any time, the ball. If you've got somebody in your team that want to get rid of it, it's a good little tool to do, but it really just removes energetically, it'll just remove that negative emotion from your body.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And
so Fiona, did you want to share what you want to say? I'll just unmute you. Yeah, there you go.
Got it. I just wanted to share something that I manifested. It's actually quite bizarre and funny when you think about it. When I was actually single back in my 20s, and I was actually writing down what sort of partner I would want, and I was sick of boys that just that weren't stayers pretty much. And I thought, no, this is it. I've got to find my husband, the person that I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. And I always knew that I would be with somebody that would come from a different cultural heritage or different cultural background. I thought it would be Italian because we grew up in Wangaratta and lived in Lilydale, where there was a lot of Italian families that lived around. But I ended up marrying David, who's actually South African heritage. And I knew that his family would be a big family and that they would welcome me in to their world and into their family traditions as well. So, and it happened. So big South African family with a lot of love and a lot of noise. So be careful what you ask for. No, they're beautiful. I'm joking.
Love it. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing. I love that. Just write down, as you know, over the week and stuff, everyone just write down all the things that you've manifested and just, you know, remember on those. Just the next tool is kind of like a hybrid of, say, affirmations and gratitude. Now, Danny was talking about, you know, gratitude, and then when you're receiving from the universe, you know, thanking the universe and having gratitude on that. Now, all of us here, you know, I used to go to Arbonne conferences and stuff, and everyone used to talk about this gratitude, and I just had none of it. I had no gratitude, didn't get it, and everyone's like, write down gratitude. I'd be copying, saying what people were writing. I just didn't get the gratitude. I'd be like eye rolling and like, just didn't get it. I get it so much now. I completely understand it. And now that I've manifested like my dream home, and I just keep saying, my husband's probably so sick of me. You know, I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful we found this. We love this. And every day I just really understand gratitude now. And I'm just so grateful for so many other things in my life that before I just took for granted and just didn't acknowledge gratitude on. So this is, as I said, a bit of a hybrid on the affirmation and the gratitude together. And it's giving direction and thanks for what the universe is giving you. So just basically acknowledging the source energy within ourselves, within the universe, for what we use for manifestation, and just acknowledging and thanking that the universe has your back. And it's always got your back, like you're saying, sort of like, thank you. You're acknowledging what it's bringing into your life. So you can use your I am affirmations, or you can use this thank you. And you can do this as a meditation, like a speak loud meditation. And this is, as Danny said, it's a great time to do this in the morning to set yourself up for the day. If you want, you could put some theta wave music on in the background, or you can just speak these out. And these are just some examples, but write them to suit yourself. But these are some great ones to add in there. And you would be able to as well, the Think Up app. Does everyone know about the Think Up app with the affirmations? You can record, there's a Think Up app, and it's all around affirmations. There's lots of great things in there that you can use, but you can actually record yourself your affirmations, and you can record these in there. So when you're listening, so you don't have to have them written down and be reading and stuff, they're saying it to you in your voice, and then you can even be speaking it out loud again. So that's great. It's in your ears as well as you're speaking it. So this is, I'll just read through some, and we'll pop them in an email as well, some for you to have a look at. And as I said, write them to suit yourself. So this is it. I'll just read through them. So thank you for shifting and lifting my vibration. Thank you for bringing me powerful energy into my body. Thank you for allowing me to be open, sensitive, and vulnerable so I can feel love. Thank you for opening doorways for me that I can now see that are opening. Thank you for allowing me to feel good right now. Thank you for putting my mind in the right direction for harmony and peace right now and throughout the day. Thank you for sending a wave of relaxation and unconditional love inside of my body right now. Thank you for accelerating my consciousness and expanding it. Thank you for allowing playfulness of my inner child. Thank you for making me laugh and feel joyful right now. Thank you for bringing business partners into my life. You know, thank you for giving me confidence to do the things that I want to do. Thank you for sending me an abundance of money into my life. So the idea of thank you means you're already acknowledging and solidifying that it's happening, that it's coming for you. So you're not having to do that. Sometimes you don't have that belief that when you're saying it as it is and you don't have it, you don't always have that belief. But when you're thanking, it's like you're thanking that it's coming.
Yes,
And
that's what I was saying. Like I say it as it's like thanks in advance. Like,
yes,
yeah, you
that's
think, you know, when you ask somebody a question, it's like thanks in advance. It's exactly saying to them, thanking them in advance for what they're about to give you.
yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can align more with people because they're fantastic, and I love the I am affirmations, and I still do all of those and that. But sometimes there's just some of them that don't sit right, and you're writing it, but you're like, but I haven't got it, and it's like you're going, well, why am I writing it? You just don't have that belief. But when you're thanking it, you're thanking that you know it's coming, so you know you have that belief that it's coming because you're not doing that pretend thing. So that's a really great one, and it combines the gratitude and the affirmation together. So that's all from me for this evening. Is there anything else you wanted to add, Danny?
No, I just think what would be a great over the next week, especially before the next week's course, is just pick that one thing, like a little bit what we did in the 21 days, but really pick that one thing and go through those 5 steps each day this week. And really like taking the action, getting a bit closer, getting the thoughts, the feelings. And I'd love to hear by next week, if you all write down your one thing, how much, if you feel closer to it, or if anyone has achieved their manifestation goal in that time period, or the resistance that they come up against over the week. I'd love anyone that wants to share can, anyone that doesn't want to, that's absolutely fine. But I'd love to you to, as homework for 1 week, really just focus on that one thing and see what happens. Okay, so it could be bringing in a certain business partner in, it could be a certain income, it could be a friendship, it could be whatever it is for you. And we'll go from there. But I'll send this recording out straight away too, so you all have it if you want to re-listen to any of the 5 steps or anything you want to use there. But I hope you've all enjoyed tonight. Thanks, Steph, also for doing that as well. Thanks for getting on. It's lovely seeing faces, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks so much, everyone. Bye.
Bye.